and welcome back to the Dark Souls playthrough. We just escaped the bowels of Blighttown, and instead of going to Sen's Fortress like we normally would after killing Quelaag, we're actually going to go into the Darkroot Basin and Forest, or whatever this hell this zone's called, and we're going to take out the Moonlight Butterfly and then sift the Great Wolf so that we can go after the Four Kings and try to join the Dark Wraiths early in the game to see if getting their armor can't give us, I don't know. I guess it's not about getting the gear for the statistics, but I just want to look like the quote-unquote Dark Paladin that I'm actually calling this this build. So, we've got to take this, what is this, a Titanite demon out, and if you've got like soul arrows, those are going to be the easiest way to take him out, because you can just stand in the back and shoot at him, and he's going to lob lightning bolts at you, which you can easily dodge. But being that we don't have shit yet, I totally should have gone and joined the Sunlight Brotherhood so I could at least have lightning bolts. The only thing we've got is melee, so you kind of got to kite around him like I'm doing here. The problem is that he just hits hard as balls, so... I mean, there you go, right through my fucking shield. Anyway, once we take this guy out, we'll make our way towards the Moonlight Butterfly, who is even a cakewalk as full melee, because we're going to be able to summon Witch Beatrice to pretty much do all the work for us. So anyway, here we go. So these Titanite demons don't respawn. There's actually only one in the game that respawns, and that's in Lost Izalith, up by the shortcut. And they drop demon Titanites, 100% drop rate, 1 or 2. Some of them drop 2. And those are used to upgrade special weapons like Quelaag's Fury Sword. So I was talking about creating a boss weapon earlier, where you take a curved sword plus 10 plus the soul of Quelaag, and that'll make the Quelaag's Fury Sword, which is the sword that she uses while you fight her. To upgrade that, it takes 10 demon Titanites. 10 or 11. I think it's 10. And then it's actually quite strong, but the demon Titanites are kind of hard to come by, and because the only one demon the Titanite demon respawns. Oh, used my force push there. We picked that up earlier, which is actually pretty funny. I'm just rambling now. Now these guys drop the purple moss clumps, and sometimes they drop the the white and purple ones, and sometimes they drop red ones. So if you're worried about getting poisoned or toxic, somebody says the debuff is called intoxicated, which I guess it very well may be. You know, it's not too bad to come here and farm those things first. You don't have to. Anyway, here's the secret door which leads to a bonfire, and then that gate that we just saw. You can't unlock until you pay that blacksmith that we were just at, 20,000 souls to get the key. So we're going to try and save our souls up here so we have enough to buy it. I mean, there is a back way in, but you have to kill the Hydra first. And if you were to die on Sif, it would just be a kind of a long run back. So I don't care. We're gonna save up the 20,000 souls and buy our way in. I'm also taking a lot of shit, and I don't know why, because I'm not wearing the Elite Knight armor set. Well, you get that in the next room here. It's only marginally better than what I'm wearing now, and it doesn't even look that much cooler, so you guys need to shut up. We'll get it. So being that, oh, I guess we're going to go over this hidden area first. If you guys didn't know, this is kind of a secret location. This tree is actually an enemy. And the only way you'd be able to tell that is because it slightly moves around, but it certainly doesn't fight back. And the only thing that's really worth coming down here for is I think it's called the Wolf Ring, which gives you additional poise, which would be really good for characters that aren't wearing a lot of armor when they're going into PvP and they don't want to get owned by somebody carrying a big two-handed sword like this. Because one hit by one of these big swords is enough to stun lock lots of cloth wearers, which is not good. But if you have poise, you'll be able to stand up to it. There's also these big stone giants down here, and they're actually a lot harder since I don't have any spells. I'm pretty sure they fucked me up a bit. Let's watch. And that spell you can actually pick up. I'm actually ashamed that I haven't picked it up. I didn't pick it up in this playthrough on this Paladin because it's a Fate spell, and it actually slows everyone around you. You can see that little circle around me now. I'm just moving slow as shit. Yeah, gonna get rocked! I guess that spell is really good for PvP. Well, of course it is. You can slow down all your enemies. You can walk around and get some backstabs on them bitches. Derp. I think the stone golem's derping around more than I am. Kind of off my game in this zone. I'm not able to hit shit. Anyway, this has kind of cleared this little area out. We're going to climb up a little passage. There's going to be one more stone golem, and then we'll get our ring, and then we'll move on to the boss. Probably should have just stayed on him because, you know, I don't even... You might be able to interrupt him while he's casting that. But either way, while he's casting it, he's vulnerable. I bet I probably could have taken him out in the amount of time it took him to cast that thing. Luckily, we're in a good position. He can't really hit us because he's higher up than us. Yeah, so that one wasn't much of a problem. We can also pick up his armor just a little bit on the way to Sif the Great Wolf. I'm not sure that I wear it, but I know it's a pretty good armor set. I don't think it looks all that cool, personally, because I get some really cool armor sets later in this game, in this specific playthrough. I think that the Black Knight set looks awesome, the Silver Knight set looks good. With the Black Iron, or Dark Black Iron, that looks good. There's the Paladin set is actually pretty cool looking. The Brass set, I get a lot of sets of armor in this, and I pretty much wear all of them. And I buy a couple special sets to show off too. All that happens later. So now we're going to suicide run in here, pick up the Elite Knight armor set. And then for the Moonlight Butterfly, I'm actually going to wear the Crest Shield instead of the Black Knight Shield. Because the Moonlight Butterfly does pretty much entirely all, I think it is entirely all magic damage. So if you have that thing up, you're not going to get hurt hardly at all. Assholes chase me all the way up here. Alright, now the path should be clear to go to the butterfly. let's suppose we can try on this armor. As long as we keep my equipment load under 50%, which looks like, what's that, about 46 and a half? And it looks like I did it. We're on the Elite Knight armor set now. Looks like the regular Knight set actually has a lot more poise. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Whatever, I'll wear this just to please you fuckers. I guess I shouldn't say that. I already recorded this whole playthrough before. Whatever. On the way to the boss. Bitches. If you don't want to fight everything in here, you can just circle around the left-hand perimeter of the room. And that way, I think I'm only going to have to go through 2 of the golems. And none of the plant dudes. I don't know why I back out when he's casting that. There's no purpose because it's an area of effect buff that stays on him, so there's no reason to back out while he's casting it. Anyway, someone mentioned that like Knight Solaire didn't show up for them at the gargoyles. So for that to happen, one, you have to be in human form. You know, perhaps you guys weren't. Otherwise, I mean, otherwise you would have had to have talked to him outside of the Hellkite Dragon and gotten the white soapstone. If you didn't do that, you know, he's not going to be anywhere. Anyway, that's Witch Beatrice that I just summoned. And she'll pretty much trivialize this boss fight for us. You know, I think I remember a boss in Demon Souls that has kind of music similar to this. I think it's cool for a boss fight. It's just creepy, like a haunted house type, I don't know. Anyway, just holding your shield up, you're going to be able to block all that damage while Beatrice starts shooting her spell. She's not doing a great job at it right now. And then eventually the butterfly will actually land and you'll be able to go mob on it two-hand style. Too bad I don't got that Chloranthy ring on. Be able to beat that bitch down quicker. Eventually. Once I start getting that endurance up, we'll be able to start being a little more effective. I'm probably just going to consume the soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. It can be used to turn into a spear, which I believe scales on magic damage, and that's certainly not what I'm doing. And you can also make a shield that pretty much sucks balls after several patches, so yeah, we'll just consume it. Up here is going to be the Divine Ember, so we can ascend weapons with a Divine Enchant, which does makes your weapon scale with Faith instead of what it was scaling with before. And then the Watchtower Basement Key, which is actually how you get to Havel if you haven't gone the way that we went. I think I'm probably, going to use that Homeward Bone to bring us back to the bonfire so I don't got to go through all this shit again. Okay, so now the only thing that's left is to go after Sif the Great Wolf, but I don't have the key to get into his area yet. I've got about 18,000 souls, and I'm pretty sure I've got a couple souls that I can souls in my inventory that I can use, so we should be able to afford it. So we're gonna run back to the blacksmith quick and buy that key, and I guess then give him the Divine Ember as well. Not that we need it yet, but we'll give it to his ass. The hell? Did I just get laid? You know, I just reviewed Kingdoms of Amalur, like I said in my last video, and I kind of dogged on it a bit. And a lot of people are trying to compare it to Skyrim, which, I don't know, maybe I guess I kind of see. But I think my problem with the game is that I've been spoiled by Dark Souls, so I know what a good action game should be, and I know what a game filled with fluff is.
Why not? Why?
Okay. We got the key, we'll head back, and then we'll head after Sif. Now, remember, this time I'm not a member of the Forest Covenant like I was last time. So, the enemies in the area are going to be hostile to me right away. What am I doing? Maybe I'm going to try and bring my weapon up to +10 while I'm here. I bet I don't have enough souls to do that. We'll get her upgraded a little bit more. So that's going to help. Do I have... Yeah, I've got the large ember. Well, I must have just given it to him. Yeah, I gave him the large ember and the divine ember. What the fuck am I doing?
Get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you.
I use the soul of Sif to, so instead of making the great sword of Artoris, I'm actually going to ascend a shield to +10 and then make the Sif great shield. Or the great shield of Artoris, which is really cool looking shield, but it requires like 34 strength to actually wield. I'll make that and try it on, but I'm not actually ever going to be able to wear it throughout the whole playthrough. But I do make it, I'll show it to you. It looks pretty fucking badass. So we're back at the bonfire. I am going to kindle this so that I can get the 10 Estus flasks, because I know I'm going to, well, I guess I don't know I'm going to need them, but I know that Sif is quite a bit harder when you don't have magic spells. Pyromancy is going to be the easiest way to kill him. Sorcery, if you watch my last playthrough, we saw that, yeah, it was pretty easy to use. I think I'm probably going to use this Black Knight Great Shield, yep, because I'm going to want the extra stability. And here we go. Now remember, the enemies in here are hostile, but I'm going to show you this the cheap way to farm souls. What you can do is, since I'm rested at that bonfire, is an easy way to get 8,000 souls is just run through these woods and get all of the NPC enemies here to chase you, and then you run back to the door and we can make them fall off a cliff. I don't know, it's really stupid. Someone was trying to leave a comment saying that's not a cheap way to get these souls. Yes, it is. It's super cheap. You're not fighting them. They're jumping off a cliff. Anyway, you'll see. He'll eventually stop shooting that thing. Fucker ran out of soul arrows, got suicidal. There might be a couple more of them up ahead. We're just gonna run by them though. Yeah, I could see one. There might be. Yep, there's one behind me now too. Ninja fucker. So these guys are the protectors of this forest area, and to my left right there is a little wolf, and that's how you would join the forest covenant, and then those guys would become friendly to you, and then actually a vendor would show up that would sell you some pretty good gear. Cool swords. I don't think he sells armor. It doesn't matter. Also right here around this corner, this is where the stone giant armor, or stone golem, what is it? Stone gauntlets. It's the armor those dudes were wearing. What a dumbass. I was all getting ready to use my force push on him and everything. Nope, he just fucking suicide rolled backwards. Okay, we're on our way to Sif now. We don't need to get the enchanted ember like I did on my last playthrough because that's for intelligence builds and that's not us. So here we'll go after Sif. Now the strategy with Sif again is to get and stay underneath him. He has a really strong sword or melee attacks that you gotta kind of roll to avoid. But if you're underneath him, he'll kind of stand and jump around a little bit, allowing you to get a few hits. And then he'll jump away, and you have to run towards him and dodge his sword and get under him again. And just rinse and repeat that. I know a lot of people have had trouble with Sif in the past. I didn't with my Sorcerer. I don't remember exactly how this one's going to go, but I know it's a lot tougher as melee, so we'll see. Once we go in here, though, before we start the fight, I always go around to the back side of it because the Hornet Ring drops there. I think it's the Hornet Ring. And that gives you increased critical strike damage, so parries and backstabs will do 1.5 or 2 times the damage, which is really good for PvP. You know, if you're building a rogue and you're kind of focusing with daggers, that'd be a good one to eat, a good ring to use. Then you can see that huge sword there. That's actually the sword you get if you ascend Sif's soul onto a +10 sword. Anyway, here we go. Kinda getting rocked. Whoops!
Well, you need...
I'm gonna cut ahead here. Instead of going straight back for Sif again, I used the Soul of Quelaag to give me something like 8,000 souls or something. So I'm gonna ascend this two-handed up to, well, as high as I can get it right now. I've got the large Titanite shards already. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to get all the way up to +9. So now the only thing I need left to bring it to +10. Oh, damn, I'm down 1.
Get yourself killed.
Well, anyway, this ought to put us in a little bit of a better position to go after this bastard. And now that I think about it, you know, I was rolling kind of slow there, and I think that I would rather have the stamina regen. So I'm gonna take off Havel's ring, and now I'm overburdened. I need to get my equipment load down to about 31.2 to keep it under 50%. So we're gonna have to take off some of this elite night gear, and well, let's just see what we can end up with. Kind of mixing and matching. I'm actually not gonna slow this down because it might be useful to some of you playing the game. If you find this boring, you might just want to fast forward a little bit while I check out the gear. And that stone armor has some pretty high stats, but there's no way we can wear it. This is pretty good here. Might be able to upgrade one of the items to get a little bit more. Can I get the night boots on, maybe? Not the stone. Keep going. Check out these knights. Oh, real close. That's actually perfect. I can wear that. Or not. What the fuck? Well, I guess this is what we end up with. I don't know. That's not that bad of a set. The hard leather armor, I think that's what I'm wearing there. Looks pretty slick. All right, I'm gonna fast forward, bring us back to Sif now. So I've got some more maneuverability now. I've still got my nice Black Knight shield, and I've got my sword upgraded to +9, so I'm going to be hitting them a lot harder too. Yeah, we're just all around in a much better shape. Plus the Chloranthy ring, you can see how fast my stamina bar is regenerating now, which is really significant for a fight where you're going to be taking a lot of damage through your or on your shield. You don't want that to. You want your stamina bar to come or regenerate as quickly as possible. Like maybe I should just keep this whole armor set on for the rest of my playthrough. I wonder what I do after I finish Sif here. I think having a little bit of maneuverability and the faster stamina regen is going to go a lot further than having big armor right now until I get my endurance up when I can have both. Never really listened to this boss music. It's kind of badass too. All the music in this game's awesome. Fuck. And there we go. That's that. We're going to, instead of, again, going into Sen's Fortress, we're going to the New Londo Ruins, and we're going after the fucking 4 kings at level, really low level, whatever we are. What are we? 40. Oh, we're not that low. Oh, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see you later.